Hi, Ashis. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's start right off the bat with what were you up to before you joined us at the Ten10 Academy?
Yeah, before joining Ten10, I was actually studying architecture as a degree in University of Kent. Obviously, from that aspect, it's quite a big jump to go into the tech industry, but the I actually enjoyed the creative solution, problem-solving solution aspect of the degree, and I think that lent into the training that the Ten10 provided quite well. So blending into Ten10 Academy was quite easy in that approach.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So although, as you said, coming from architecture, completely different subject, the way that you think and the way that you approached problems lent itself to tech. So not too much of a leap joining us in the tech industry. Super. Well, it's wonderful to have you. And next question for you is, how do you feel you transitioned from the Ten10 Academy to your client work?
So during the training itself, I completed my core training, followed by dev additional training and database training. Of course, these trainings were quite, I would say, important for me. But obviously, my client and my team in my client also helped quite a lot. There was a lot of support, and they knew the level of entry I began as. So they provided lots of courses and training, and even the team itself, that are very supportive because they some of them are also from the academy, so they know what steps were necessary for me to progress in this field. So yeah, very supportive.
Yeah, it must be so useful joining a client for the first time, but doing it with other people that you already know, some fellow colleagues from Ten10 and fellow Academy classmates, I suppose, which is really going to help that transition. So that's super. So my next question for you is, could you tell us a little bit about your client work? You've started with a client in the legal sector. So how are things going? What are you working on? What kind of tools are you using?
I work as a RPA developer. RPA developer standing for robotic process automation. It is the automation of any repetitive task that employees may have. They could range from the onboarding and offboarding of leavers of employees and having monthly pay slips as well. The type of work that I'm doing, as much as I can tell, is working with my senior devs, currently shadowing uh, projects, and they are essentially helping me one day to lead my own project as well. And some of the tools that they're currently teaching me range from UiPath, PowerShell, Git commands, Azure DevOps, and Orchestrator. So quite a varied tool sets, but they're all very interesting. They are new, but very interesting to me. Currently, we work very closely to our clients. They're lawyers, so we actually have to maintain the RPA process as well, not just releasing them. So if there's any issues or bugs that arise, we actually keep in close contact with them on Microsoft Teams. Through that, we tend to quickly solve problems before it reaching to us through support tickets as well. So I think that is one of the main other, I guess, clients or teams that we work with. And yeah, I think that also streamlines the bugs and bug fixes a lot quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for people to completely overlook all of the effort that goes into something that's automated. Like you associate automation with ease, everything being quick. And obviously, when you join a new company, employee onboarding, for example, payrolls, um, everything like that can feel like it's already set up and it's really, really easy to do. But obviously, it takes the hard work of developers just like yourself to work on the back end and to build it and also maintain it. So thanks for giving us some insight there. Now, when we think back to your training on the 1010 Academy, is there anything in particular that you found really useful and that you're using on a regular basis now that you're into your client work?
The core training itself was quite a general umbrella. It definitely showed quite varied topics from Agile to Java coding. The skill set that I think I use on a daily basis mainly comes from the dev additional training. taught by Peter, incredibly knowledge man and very passionate on teaching coding. So some of the stuff that he taught that I think I use like on a daily basis has to be the Git commands, used essentially for GitHub's getting the local repository, sending like a local repository, especially as a developer working from home. You have to be able to work in a way that you don't put your other team and jeopardize the progress itself. So you have to make sure the Git commands that you're using align with what you're planning to do.
Yeah, I've spoken with and about Peter Russell more than a few times, so I'm sure he really appreciate those kind words. I know that he puts a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of enthusiasm into his training. Super. So, could you take us through an average day or even maybe an average week that you experience in your client work?
I guess 9 a.m. is the start, and the first thing I do is probably check both my emails and my Microsoft Teams for any UiPath support that may be necessary if any bug fixes arises. We do have a rota where the 5 devs that we have cycle through and act as a supporting member for any bug fixes that arises. But obviously, if some team member or dev is currently busy with a certain task, the other team members they don't hesitate to take up that role itself. And after I guess the daily email, we have our morning meeting, a stand up to say the least, where we basically say what we did the day before, what we're planning to do today, if there's any blockers that we could potentially fix or need to fix in the future. So after the stand up, check through my Azure DevOps tickets, and go through my RPA tickets as necessary. And if there's any problems that I have with certain tickets, I can just ask my teammates in Microsoft Teams. And again, trying to emphasize, my teammates have been very supportive, so the whole team itself. So they don't hesitate to help or even go on calls, multiple calls, because some tickets are quite problematic. But yeah, it always feels amazing when you complete it. So yeah.
That's great. And has your role or the responsibilities that fall within your role changed while you've been doing your client work?
I would say role-wise, not as much, but responsibility definitely. Initially, the first month or two was simply learning the client-specific tools and the standards that they want to use. Because obviously some companies are based on some Windows legacy systems, so they tend to have specific ways of doing stuff and methodologies and processes. So first 2 months were simply learning those process. And then as the project lead started to hand me tickets, it was initially just shadowing the other senior devs. And they showed me I guess, the standards of how to go about solving each ticket. And nowadays, I'm starting to be given a bit more free reign as opposed to just simply shadowing. So it's definitely the task is similar. The responsibilities is definitely something that as you keep doing the work, that they'll feel that you will just get more responsibilities, which is a good feeling.
Yeah, that's terrific. Great. Now, you mentioned earlier about some of the support that you're getting from your client, kind of the training and pushing your development. Can you tell us a little bit more about how they're supporting you?
So my client themselves, they handed me plenty of resources on RPA-based courses. Not only that, they kind of the first initial month itself was a handover progress. So over that progress, they kept daily contact with me to make sure that I was going through through the handover progress, not only swiftly, but they also made sure that if I didn't understand some processes, to make sure to tell them, and they were very supportive on that aspect as well. Other than that, I think the teammate itself from my client side, they have also been very open to asking them for help if there's any problem that arises, ranging from just setting up the laptop or installation of apps, or through all tickets that I was initially given. So yeah, very supportive, I guess.
And you've also mentioned the other people in 1010 who have joined you as colleagues, but have you received any support from anybody else at 1010, any of the other departments, particularly the academy teams?
Yeah, well-being team. I think I don't think they get praised enough, but they always keep in contact through the 1010 laptop. So that's something I check daily because Stuart, I don't know if you may know Stuart, and Sophie and Megan, and I guess Ish, the operations manager. Yeah, they've been super supportive. Even they go beyond just the Academy Wellbeing. They set up regular events. They provide links to any necessary like mental health awareness problems that you may have, especially because it's work from home. So you may feel isolated in some roles, and they also help me do practice my interview. So I think they don't get praised enough. So well done to them.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, and I'm in the marketing department, so it's kind of my job to shout about them, but I don't think we can shout about them enough, as you say. And pretty much every interview we conduct with our academy consultants, we always end up mentioning the Academy Wellbeing team. So thank you for name dropping them. It's very much appreciated, I'm sure. And yeah, just we're so proud of the work and the support that they do. So that's absolutely terrific. And my final question for you is what we end all of our interviewees with, which is what do you have to say to someone who's considering joining the 1010 Academy?
I think definitely if you have even the slight bit of interest in tech as an industry that you want to pursue in, I think 1010 is a great opportunity that you can make use of just simply by joining the academy itself. For myself, I joined with an architecture degree, completely different to a tech degree. And there are various. So some of my friends in the academy, they also didn't join with a tech degree, but the training that they cover provided so much that you simply had the understanding, and they also provide with so much resources such as the knowledge base. So definitely make use of those. I think the resource that 1010 provides is second to none. Also, I also know some people with a tech background who kind of may struggle to land that first foot in the industry. It is quite a struggle from hearing those experiences, but 1010 obviously has quite the connection with various clients. So I think if you have even a slight bit of interest, do consider looking up 1010, I guess.
That's great. Well, thank you once again, Ashis, for your time today. Thanks for taking us into your client work and into the world of working as an RPA developer.
Thank you so much, James.